okay, I'm going to try to keep this one pretty short and sweet. Maybe if I keep this one short, all the people will not come out and call me a social justice warrior, a lame Star Wars fan, tell me I'm not a true Star Wars fan. Maybe they won't come out and try to harass me off of the internet. I don't know. Star Wars fans are the worst. But anyway, today we're talking about a movie that I didn't really think I wanted to be made. In fact, I know I didn't really want it to be made. I didn't think it needed to be made, but after seeing it, I'm really glad it was. We're talking about Solo, a Star Wars story.
Heard about a job. Big shot gangster putting together a crew.
I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer. I waited a long time for a shot like this. What do you think? Well, what do you know?
Solo, a Star Wars story, was directed by Ron Howard and it stars Alden Ehrenreich, Emilia Clarke, Woody Harrelson, Donald Glover, Joonas Santomos, Thandie Newton, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and Paul Bettany, and a bunch of other people. But this movie is directed by Ron Howard and it had a very tumultuous production. I'm not going to really go into it here. I'm not going to even really mention it anymore after this point. I made a whole video on this. I'm going to link it in the description box below. You can find out all about the production troubles based off of my video. I go pretty in depth. I give you all the information you might need. But I'm not going to talk about it now. This movie's directed by Ron Howard. Okay. And honestly, like I said previously in the intro, I didn't really want this movie to be made. I didn't think it needed to be made. I like pretty much Han Solo's story how it is. We get to see his introduction in Star Wars in 77, and then we get to see his death in The Force Awakens. Spoilers. I like his story the way it is. I liked it how it was, and I didn't think I needed any more information about him. In fact, I kind of thought Han Solo was great because we didn't know very much about him. He always had that air of mystery behind him, and I thought that that was excellent. Harrison Ford puts on incredible performances in pretty much all of the Star Wars movies that Han Solo is in, minus Return of the Jedi. Han Solo is a film icon. He's a science fiction icon. He's a science fantasy icon. He's a Star Wars icon. He is such an important character, and Harrison Ford embodies him so well. I didn't think I wanted to see anyone else portray this character. After watching the movie, I can gladly say that Alden Ehrenreich pulls it off. Alden Ehrenreich is Han Solo now. He's a young Han Solo. We have Harrison Ford playing Han Solo we know and we love. And we've got Alden Ehrenreich playing this young Han Solo that we're going to learn to love. And starting out in the beginning of this movie, I was not in. I didn't think he was doing it. And then about 20 minutes in, I'm like, whoa, that's Han Solo. I didn't even think about it anymore. I didn't think that's Alden Ehrenreich doing a Han Solo impression, because he wasn't. He truly was doing his own thing, and it just worked. And I loved it. And Alden Ehrenreich is a young Han Solo to me. He was my biggest concern with the film, and it works beautifully. Woody Harrelson is very good as Beckett, who is sort of like a Han Solo's mentor. He's sort of like this guy that takes Solo under his wing, after he gets off of Corellia. They do this job together. And while I thought Woody Harrelson was good, Woody Harrelson's always good. I don't know if I've seen a performance by him where I didn't think he was good. He's good in the movie. Woody Harrelson was good in the movie, and by the end of the movie, I really enjoyed Beckett's relationship with Han. I really thought they worked well together. I think Donald Glover is wonderful as Lando Calrissian, but I don't think he's the standout of this movie like a lot of people are saying. I think Alden Ehrenreich is the standout of this movie. I don't think Donald Glover is a standout of this movie because I honestly were times when I thought Donald Glover was doing a Billy D. Williams impression. There were a few times where I was like, that's a weird way of saying that line. I don't love that. That's a weird accent he's doing. I'm not a huge fan of that. But for a lot of the movie, I bought it. For a lot of the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, that's a young Lando Calrissian. And I wouldn't mind seeing him come back. I liked him a lot, and frankly, I'm glad he's in a Star Wars movie, and I hope they can make another movie with a young Lando, because I think if we give him another shot, he'll even embody this character even more. It was only a couple of scenes where I thought, that's kind of a weird way he's doing that. It was actually, I think, one scene. I'd be interested in seeing where that scene was shot in the production schedule, because if that was towards the beginning of production, then I would just say he probably didn't settle into the role that well, because there was a lot of scenes in this film where I'm like, yep, that's Lando. That's definitely a young Lando. Paul Bettany is playing Dryden Voss. He's the main villain of this movie, and he's having so much fun. Every time he's on the screen, you can kind of tell that he's just digging this, and he's really enjoying this role. He's really sinking his teeth into it. And while I think Dryden Voss could have been fleshed out a little more, I really dug Paul Bettany's performance. What I loved about Solo is that it's not this grand movie, this giant film of operatic scale that's gonna affect the entire galaxy. No. This is a very personal story, which is exactly what I would want out of a Solo movie, which is exactly what I want out of these spin-off films. I want these more personal stories that sort of fill the Star Wars universe. And I dug that quite a bit. Now I'm gonna get hate for this next part. I'm not sure if this is classified as a hot take. I don't think Emilia Clarke is that great of an actress. At times, I bought her as Kiara in this film. I don't always buy her when she's expressing emotion. I don't know if I necessarily feel her motivations throughout a film. I think she's getting better as an actress. This is not the worst I've seen her. She acts a lot less with her eyebrows in this than she has in previous films. This is one of her better performances, but it's not great. And I'd like to see what happens next. I like the character of Kiara a lot, actually. She's sort of a love interest in this film, and it's hard for me to buy anyone as a love interest for Han Solo, knowing that Princess Leia's out there, knowing that General Leia's out there, knowing what eventually happens with their relationship. It's hard for me to buy any sort of love interest. But they did a beautiful job of selling me on Kiara. I really felt for her character. I just wish the performance was up to snuff of the way that I really dug the writing for her character. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. And by the elephant in the room, I mean the really tall, hairy guy in the room. Chewbacca. Joonas Suotamo. I'm really botching your name, and I'm sorry because I'm a very big fan. Has played Chewbacca in 3 films now. He played some Chewbacca scenes in The Force Awakens, I believe most of Chewbacca scenes in The Last Jedi, and I believe he was the only Chewbacca for Solo. Peter Mayhew was getting up there in age, and he really can't be doing this for much longer, but I like Joonas Suotamo. When Han and Chewie meet, initially I was like, whoa, and then I'm like, oh no, I love this. I really dig this. When they meet, and from there on, I bought their relationship. I understand why they're around each other. I get that they trust each other. Chewbacca has an arc in this film. I love Chewie in this film. If for nothing else, if this movie didn't do anything else, this movie has solidified itself in the canon because of Chewbacca. A+ on the Chewbacca stuff. A+. If you can't tell, I really like Solo, A Star Wars Story. I really dig this movie. I think it does a lot of things really well. I think it does some things pretty poorly. There's an initial chase scene in the beginning that I didn't love. I didn't feel the stakes to it. And there's another thing right in the beginning that I hate. There's one thing in this movie that I think is just absolutely terrible and goes against everything that Han Solo would even stand for, let alone it's just unnecessary to bring up. You know what it is if you've seen it. It involves an Imperial man checking Han Solo into something. That's basically all I'm going to say. But if you want to talk about it, please hit me up on Twitter at @IamMourar. And we'll have a discussion about it because I hate this aspect of the movie. But if you're going in without spoilers and you're watching my review, great, thanks for coming. But I don't want to spoil this for you because I want you to be equally as pissed as I was, because I was seething in the theater, mainly because this doesn't need to be explained. It's not something that is needed to be explained. It's just not needed. It's dumb. And it's ignorant, and I hate it. Most exciting scene in this movie is, I would say that this is spoilers, but it's not, because you knew this was going to happen, is when they take the Kessel Run. And it works for me. I love what they do with the Kessel Run. I love a way that they sort of retcon something, but actually not, and it's brilliant, and I'm a big fan of it. And the Millennium Falcon is so cool in this movie, and some of my favorite scenes in this movie revolve around the Millennium Falcon, with gambling. I really liked Solo: A Star Wars Story, and I'm kind of upset with myself for not going earlier, for not giving them the benefit of the doubt for making movies and entertainment that I've really loved in the past, and sort of just saying, you know what, I trust them enough, let's go and see it. Solo: A Star Wars Story is very fun. It adds a lot to the lore, and Alden Ehrenreich solidified himself as a young Han Solo in my eyes. All in all, I'm going to give Solo: A Star Wars Story a 7.5 out of 10. This movie is not perfect. There are issues with it. I could go deeper and deeper into what I don't love about the movie, but honestly, there's plenty of those on the internet. There's not enough people saying they like this movie. The internet right now is this weird, divisive, just cesspool. I mean, granted, that's kind of the state of the world right now, is like a weird, divisive cesspool, but for some reason, Star Wars internet is also super divisive. And very full of hate. So honestly, if I can just show some love for a second, that'd be wonderful. And this movie's good. It's not great. It's not incredible. It's not my favorite Star Wars movie ever. In fact, I think it's number 5. But it's good, and I like it a lot, and it's a great addition to the canon, and guys, I think you'll like it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of Solo: A Star Wars Story in the comment section below. Let me know what your favorite Star Wars movies are. Why don't you drop me a list down in the comment section? And always remember to like and subscribe, tell your friends, share it up, let me know. Don't hate in the comments below. If you're gonna hate, just at me on Twitter. Don't do it in the comments below. Don't be a jerk to other Star Wars fans. I'm so sick of people gatekeeping in this community. Guess what? You like Star Wars? You like Star Wars. In fact, you've never seen a Star Wars movie ever? Cool. You think Darth Vader looks kind of cool? Dope. You just like lightsabers? Excellent. Alan Haven's Razzle co-host said this beautifully when I was talking to him yesterday. You just like the concept of Star Wars and you've never seen it before? You're a freaking Star Wars fan. I'm so sick of gatekeeping in this community. And I'm guilty of it myself. Back when I was younger, I'm like, oh my gosh, if you don't know this point of trivia, yada yada yada. It's stupid, and it's ignorant, and it's dumb. You like Star Wars, you like Star Wars. End of story. I just got a little heated. I got a bit heated there. There's also a cameo at the end of this movie. Don't know how I feel about it. I don't think I like it, but I can be persuaded. Thanks for watching.